Hello everyone, Josh here with Unveiled, bringing guys and gals some more Exedra, and today we're going to be showcasing our 4-star hero, Himika, which I consider to be possibly the best 4-star hero in the entirety of the game, and I actually use her in a majority of my content, especially since I now have 4 dupes into her for her Ascension, because her 4th Ascension is absolutely incredible. But even before then, she's extremely strong in a lot of different types of content because of what she's able to do, and she's, I believe, the only character in the game right now that can kind of do what she's doing as a debuffer, and she's very, very consistent. You want to try and get as much speed on her as possible using portraits and, of course, sub-slot characters like your supports, like a Ren, for example. She's a fellow debuffer that can also give her speed percentage. So if you have that combination, definitely use it, because the more opportunities that you get with her, the better your boss fights and the more smooth they're going to be, especially when there's only a single boss. But thankfully, due to her 4th Ascension, she's able to work with multiple targets as well. But definitely single bosses, she's on another level. So let's talk about what she does real quick before we start showcasing her in this witch battle. So she's a flame debuffer. I don't have her at max level yet. We are deep into Nightmare, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. We're probably another couple of chapters from being completely done, maybe, I think, with all of the available story in the game right now. I'm not sure, we'll have to see. But we are deep in there, right? We're fighting enemies, 57, 60k power, somewhere in that range. Pretty strong. This is her basic attack right now. Now, keep in mind, I do not have her magic level in the 80+ mark, so we are losing some stuff there with the battle skills, special attack, etc. It is what it is. But, hey, we need more of those resources. I gotta wait for another event to drop or whatever, but we'll get there eventually. But anyways, right now, at level 5 for my basic attack, she's dealing 68% flame damage to a single enemy. We're not really too worried about that. Her battle skill is really her bread and butter, where she really starts to shine. Her Knuckle Surprise, level 6 currently for me right now, delays a single enemy's action order by 16%. That does go all the way up to 20% with a 100% chance to burn for 2 turns, doing 27% of her attack to the target. Now, this is doing a multitude of things. A lot of these bosses have a lot of buffs, and if you can put an ailment on the boss, they won't be able to get all those buffs off, because that's kind of how some of their mechanics work. So she's able to do that because of her burn. But being able to literally knock the enemy's action order back up to 20% on a battle skill on a unit that you're going to be putting a lot of speed on, to potentially get maybe 2 of those off per rotation after you start getting going, and snowballing, because you can also have other units in your team that also give your team more speed. That's going to be really, really powerful, especially when you break the boss, because now if they're broke and they are losing out on 2, 3, 4, 5 turns, etc., that's a lot of rotations that you can get with her to keep pushing that boss down, allowing you to beat on that boss even longer while in the break state. So this hero is incredibly powerful. Now, her special attack is an AoE, does flame damage to all enemies and deals additional flame damage to enemies that are already burning, and increases damage taken, but I believe that also goes up to 20%. So that's also going to be good for your other units, like your DPSs, for example. So that's going to be very, very good. Her ability, increases damage dealt by attacks to burning enemies by an additional percentage. I believe that also goes up to 20%. And decreases damage taken from burning enemies also by 20%. So she's working like a mini tank. She's giving you damage mitigation. She's doing the debuffing with, putting ailments such as the burn dot on the enemy, which could help neutralize some of the buffs that these enemies get. She's also making the enemy take less and less turns, which is going to really start to snowball over time, which is going to give your whole team more opportunities to do more things, such as break, more DPS damage, more debuffs, more buffs, whatever you need to do, whatever your team comp is set up for. It's going to be extremely, extremely powerful. Now, her dupes, I don't know if it's show me. Oh, here we go. So her first dupe, where is it? At start battle, advances action order by 30%. That's going to be huge at the start, because most times she's going to be starting first, because you're going to be building her with a lot of speed because of the portraits and the sub slot. And then you're also going to be, of course, getting the action order 30% at the beginning. So she's going to be basically going first a lot for you unless you have any units that are faster that have more action orders at the beginning or whatever. But still, regardless, that's going to be good to try and slow down an enemy initially if you need to, especially a boss fight. Increases ailment and debuff effects applied by 20%, excluding action order delay effects. I mean, again, that's solid because she does have an ailment, which is her burn. And then Ascension effect 4. I believe this is 4. Right, yeah, 4. She, on special attack, delays all enemies' action order by 10%. Now, this is what I meant by when you get her to 4, she goes to an even higher level. She's already very powerful, in my opinion, before that. But when you get her up to 4 Ascensions, that's when she starts to really get cooking. Because now, you can use her ultimate and her battle skill in the same turn, back to back if you want. And now you can knock down the action order by 30%. And if you're able to use her battle skill twice in one rotation, that's 50%. Literally half the bar down, pushing the enemy back. Very powerful. And that's also good when some of these bosses summon some of their minions or have minions with them. Or if you're doing like a mini boss, which is a full wave. Or if you're in PvP, being able to push an entire team back by 10% is pretty huge. Because that could be 1 or 2 or 3 points that you need for some of your other units to kind of jump them in the turn order. So, this unit is very, very, very good. And because she's also a debuffer, her base speed is actually pretty solid as well, which I forgot to show you, 120. That's huge. That is huge right now, okay? And keep in mind, she's being equipped with, again, my Ren, I believe, who's giving her right now just 5% because my Ren's passive, or I'm sorry, my Ren support skill is I think only level 1, so that will go up eventually when I get around to that, when I get more magic levels. So that's going to be big for her. She's going to just get faster and faster. And then after I'm done with this boss fight, I'm going to be able to equip my new portrait, which is going to give her 15% speed, which is going to be even better for her. And then I'll be able to eventually take it up and level that up as well, making it even better. So her speed is going to be, you know, well up there with some of the other higher speed units in the game, and that's going to be, you know, very crucial for a hero that's pushing enemies back. But we've done enough of the explanation. Let's go ahead and take a look what she's actually doing here in battle. If you look over here to the left, you see here in the turn order, the boss is at 13. They're going next because my tank right now is at 21. So we got like an 8-point swing there. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to give me the 8-point swing I need, but you're going to see kind of how this is working. We're going to go and use our battle skill. Okay. So the boss went from 13 and went all the way to 24. You see how that can make a big difference? Now it pushed 2 of my units in front of it, including a very crucial member of my team, my tank, which I can now then set up some shields for. Very, very good. And now we can start working on breaking this boss down. Okay. Now they're going to attack me, blah, blah, blah. I haven't really read into this enemy skill yet. I'm not sure what all this enemy can do. Looks like it can clear buffs, perhaps. Let me see. At the turn start, takes flame. Oh, that's my debuff. I'm tripping. Grants 2 actions when not afflicted with ailment. Greatly increases attack, all elemental resistance, and break gauge depletion resistance. So you definitely want to keep inflicting an ailment, which is good for us because we have a unit that can burn on top of doing all the other cool stuff she does. And then this is their skills. Okay. So they can remove ailments and negate ailment 1 time. Restores HP. To random enemies. 60% chance to poison. Removes target buff. So that's what happened to us. I figured that was the case. Okay. So let's continue. Let's continue here. All right. So we're gonna not I never use my DPS's battle skill until they're already broken, because I just feel like it's just not worth it. And then we get into SP hell, and then we're not able to utilize all the actual battle skills that we need to achieve keeping the bosses in check and getting that break bar down. So we're gonna go ahead and do this yet again. The boss is at 14. And then we're gonna use our ult on top of that to push it down further. So it's at 25. About to go down again. I'm going to skip that. And now the boss was down to 31 there for a second. So they went up like, what, 20 or something like that. And then we can go ahead and use our Pluvia. Get everybody's MP up on their ult. And we got a nice little combination going here. Now we already got the enemy broke. Going off with our tank. We're going to lower that attack and speed. So, I mean, we got a nice combination here between our tank as well and her, because she's pushing the enemy back on their actual turn order, and she's lowering the speed with her ultimate. So, it's just a nice, beautiful combination that we have going here. A lot of synergy in his team right now, and I love it. Okay. So we're at 385%. Now, no, I want to put up the shield again. So we're going to do that. I'm actually going to save this. Yeah, I'm going to save that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into ult now. We don't have the break bar, the break percentage as high as I'd like it to be right now. But we also want to play a bit safe here as well. So we don't just straight up get, annihilated. Okay, now we're at 400%, the max. And you will notice that some enemies, the break thing can be as low as, I've seen as low as 130% for some of the smaller units on the side, and as high as like what, 800%, 700%, somewhere around there. So I mean, the break percentage definitely varies between enemies for sure. At this point, I want to push the boss back again. I just really want to showcase her pushing back ability here. It's just really, really good, right? It's just really, really good. So we didn't have enough to push it back below our Pluvia, unfortunately, but you get the idea of what she can do in the, the overall aspect of the fight, the entirety of the fight, especially if you're in a more long-term fight. Having way more opportunities to attack, use abilities is just so crucial. And I really like what she's doing, and I've literally not had a reason yet to take her out of my team for anybody else in a long time since I've actually put her in my team. Like, she's just such a solid hero. Alright, so we already got the boss about half down right now. Okay. I think I'm going to just pop this off. Not quite at 400%. It's close enough. We're going to go and use our ult. Just try and take this boss down as quickly as possible. Okay. And then we're going to push the boss back, hopefully. Yes. Push it back. There we go. And now we got two more turns in front of it. Technically, well, 2 more attacks, rather, in front of it, which is solid. I'm going to go ahead and lower their speed, lower their attack. Just so much good stuff happens when you're literally locking the enemy down. And it's way more consistent to do this than trying to rely on Felicia stunning, which is just an absolute nightmare to try and keep her to stun. I mean, it just never goes well. She does not want to stun very often. It's terrible. We're just going to keep pushing this boss back. I love doing this. It almost feels dirty, but it feels right, if you know what I mean. Okay. Now, this is an interesting setup, because now we're going to get our Pluvia's ult off here, and then we'll be able to get our Homura's ult off as well. So this is going to be nice. We're going to do this. Yep. And then this should kill the boss. Oh, I didn't get enough. Oh, I thought I was going to get enough. That's crazy. It's just a little bit off. It's all good. It is all good. This should kill it, though. This should, and without even needing to break, this should hopefully do enough of the damage, right? Oh, wow, close. But, yeah, I'm really liking this setup with her. If you guys have not used her yet, I would highly, and I mean highly, recommend using her, because she is by far, in my personal opinion, and from testing out a lot of other 4-star units, including the buff remover, the buff stripper, which is also solid, probably my number 2, and then even the better healer, the AoE spam healer. Those are probably my top 3 4-stars in the entire game, and I feel like she just clears them by quite a big margin because of what she's actually able to do in terms of, the overall aspect of the game mechanics, of the battle mechanics especially, where more turns you take in a turn-based game usually equals more W's, more victories. And look at that. I mean, we finished with pretty much full HP on our team. Didn't look like we were really ever in danger of losing or dying or anything like that. We did very, very well. Again, I really like her kit. I really like what she's doing. It's awesome. And we just now cleared that stage completely. Go and just go through some of this dialogue. I guess I'll stick with it. Let you guys see kind of where we're at here in terms of what we just did in story mode. Kind of where we're at. I want to give you guys a little context here. Okay, so we cleared that. Because I don't want you guys thinking I just fought like some scrub boss or something easy. I want to show you that we are in fact deep into nightmare mode using a 4-star hero. And I am not a big spender. I spent like $4 in this whole game, right? I'm basically free to play for the most part, considering the $4 I spent did nothing for me. But yeah, so just a little bit of transparency there as well. If you are free to play and you're struggling and there's some units that you haven't tried out yet, this is definitely one of them you should go try out. So we're now up to rank 96. We're obviously past level 100. Well, we're at level 100. We can't go no further. And I will show you real quick where we're at in story. So you can see right here. Oh, it's going to make me click this. Hold on. Okay, so we're now in the birdcage witch, which is where... it's a lot of witches. That is where a lot of endgame players are stuck right now, especially ones who actually spent quite a bit of money. So the fact that we've made it that far, basically spending nothing in this game, pretty much being free to play, look how far we are, ladies and gentlemen, in story mode. I mean, we are approaching end of the line here when it comes to story. At least I'm pretty sure. So, not bad. User, she's amazing. Again, best 4-star in the game. I can't say it enough. If you guys like what we do here, don't forget to like, subscribe, take notifications. Join us in the Discord, in the description below as always. And of course, go ahead over to X and follow us at Unveiled GN. And I'll catch you guys and gals in the next one. Until then, as always, peace.